Hey guys, welcome back to another video. The topic of this one is it's more fun in the Philippines. I'm sure you've heard that phrase before. I know I had before I even went to the Philippines. So let's dissect that phrase. Let's get into the video. So, if this is your first time here on my channel, welcome. My name is Craig and I live in the Philippines with my wife and son, and we live in Bicol province. So the first thing I want to say is, for me, there's never a dull moment, and I'll explain a wee bit what I mean by that towards the end of the video. It's a bit of a wee funny story actually, but it sums it up. So, why is it more fun? Is it more fun in the Philippines? Well, here's the thing I noticed in the Philippines. Now, they call Thailand the land of smiles, but for me, that applies more to the Philippines than Thailand, because everywhere you go, you know, the people are smiling. So what does that tell you? You know, it's they may not have much. This doesn't apply to everyone, but in general, they may not have much, but they're always smiling, and I could never get my head around this when I first seen it. I just couldn't understand it. You know, maybe I'm making good money, good salary, working in a good job, and I'm always complaining, I'm impatient, low tolerance levels, go figure. And then when you go to the Philippines, you see everyone smiling. It just makes you smile as well. It took me a while to sort of get my head around it. So, you know, you sort of think, well, how can this be? Why am I so miserable? If anyone knows, can you please let me know in the comments down below? Because I still don't understand it, but I can get my head around it, if you know what I mean. And since then, I tend to smile a lot more as well. So thank you, the people of the Philippines. Another reason why maybe it's more fun in the Philippines is because the people are so friendly, and anywhere you go, they'll always help you if you're in need of assistance or anything like that. And you know, it's a country of 7,100 islands, beautiful beaches, great locations, resorts everywhere. It's just a nice place to be. And if you live in the province like me, it's nice and slow pace. It's just marvellous. And I'll be honest with you, right? I could not live in the UK. I couldn't afford it for a start. I'm not rich. And I'm sure there's guys like me who are wondering how they're going to retire, where they're going to live. And, you know, I found out the costs in the UK, you wouldn't believe it. Even before you start buying food. It's frightening. I was on a call to my mum, bless her, the other night there, and she said to me, she told me how much she was spending on like energy bills and council tax, and I thought that is just ridiculous. You know, it was something like 650 to £700, and that's before they even buy food. You know, it's extremely unfair when you look at it like that. Now in the Philippines, let me tell you, you haven't got that problem. My mum asked me once actually, she said, do you and Jing pay, that's my wife Jing, do you and Jing pay council tax? My wife said to me, I asked my wife at the time because I wasn't sure, and she said to me, we pay something like that, but we pay it once a year. I said to her, how much is it? And she told me it was mind-boggling. You know, it was something like $3 or $4. And you know, when you compare and contrast, my mum was telling me she was paying 250 British pounds a month. That's just for council tax. Council tax is, it's like a tax that pays for rubbish collection, your services like, you know, police, I think fire brigade, things like that. It's frightening. Anyway, getting back to the Philippines. So, I was telling you earlier that I had a funny wee story for the end, which kind of sums it up when it comes to never a dull moment. Now, my wife and I lived in Malaysia for about 7 or 8 years, and I know it's the same in the Philippines, parts of it. In Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, these countries, and the Philippines as well. I know this now, but at the time I didn't. They don't, when they're talking about things, if it's plural, I'm talking about in English, right? When they're talking about things, they don't put an S on the end. So, for example, fish and chips. My wife would say fish and chip. And I've seen it all over Malaysia. You'll see restaurants with signs up, or even on the menu, they'll have fish and chip, which cracked me up when I first seen it. But anyway, so this is the story, right? Because we lived in Malaysia for so long, I didn't understand at the time if that applied to the Philippines. So anyway, here we go. I've probably given it away now. When we bought the house, it was getting built in the Philippines, and I was working overseas, and my wife was sending me some pictures of the house as it was going up, but I didn't want to pester her too much because she had Kian, our son, and she was busy with him. But once the house was finished, and I told her I wanted to build like an extension on the roof. I left it up to her. I said, you can handle it, right? Just make it your little project. And she'd done brilliantly, because I wasn't expecting how it was to turn out. Anyway, sorry, I'm digressing a wee bit. So, never a dull moment. Here it comes. I remember she sent me a message when I was overseas, and she said, now, do you still want the window? I said, aye, I think we definitely need a window, you know, because otherwise there'll be no much light coming into the roof extension. Give you an idea, we've got 3 walls with a roof, and it's open at the front, and then there's like an open deck area. You may have seen it in some of my other videos. Anyway, she said, okay, I'll ask the boys that were building it to get a price. She came back to me a few days later, and I think it was something along the lines of 23,000 pesos. So I got my calculator out. I thought, that seems a bit high, that's about $400. But I didn't want to say anything because, you know, it was her little project. So I sent the money. And it was sometime after that when I went back and I saw the roof extension. And there was 5 windows all the way around, you know, beautiful. And then it dawned on me, you know, the realisation hit me when she said, do you still want the window? She meant the windows. Guys, never a dull moment.